Hey there, my fellow rejects. Rabid here, and I have 6 gameplay tips that will help you get into higher difficulty modes for the game. So if you're someone that's stuck in Heresy and you can't really get into Damnation very well, or even Auric, well, stick around and watch the video. Alright, so first gameplay tip is you gotta find the class that you're like the most comfortable with first. Right, so if you take a class that you're not really good at and you go into a higher difficulty level, that's probably not going to work out so well. And I can guarantee you that you're going to feel very frustrated and you're probably going to want to take a break from the game. Alright, so don't do that. Don't set yourself up for failure. Try to set up your run for success using the class that you're the best with, okay? And then once you're able to start, growing and excelling a little bit, that's when you can start to, experiment with other classes. But for now, the most important part is stick with a class that you're the best with and keep going through the runs. Okay. So that leads into gameplay tip number 2. You gotta make an optimized build. You don't want to take a really random build that's like all over the place and you're taking nodes from all over the talent tree and there's like no real coherency or any real theme to your build. So for example, if you're taking something that gives you extra damage to ranged combat, but you're just doing a lot of melee combat instead, is that really helping you succeed in higher difficulty levels? Most likely not. So you gotta build something with like a laser focus, okay? You don't want to take random stuff and pray that it works. It probably won't. If you need help building a build, definitely check out this video. I'll show it, I'll flash it on the screen for you and I'll link it in the video's description. But that video is about how to make a build and test it. And hopefully that can help you out as well. If you're struggling to make a build, you can always check out YouTube, Games Lantern website. There's a lot of different resources that you can go to and check out. And you can even check out the rest of my channel. I have a lot of builds that I'm posting on the channel, and I also do gameplay tips as well, so definitely check out my stuff. Hopefully you find something useful, and subscribe to the channel. That'll let you know when I have more videos like these go up. Alright, but once you're, once you've got the talent tree locked in for the build, you gotta go check out this next gameplay tip. You gotta stay away from using crappy bad weapons, okay? In this game, there's actually several weapons that are just really bad, and they just do not perform very well, not even on the low level difficulty levels like Uprising. Okay, so I'm not going to list all of them, but for some of them, they're going to be like the Devil's Claw, the Heavy Sword, and all variants of the auto guns. Alright, those things just... It's not going to... It might be good to take out a couple enemies, but to take out an entire horde, probably not so well. Especially if you come across like the Crusher, the Bulwark, any of the Ragers. Those things require a massive amount of damage. And using, these crappy weapons like the ones I listed off earlier, it's not going to work out so well. I guarantee you're going to leave frustrated if you try to use some of those weapons. Alright, so you gotta stick with things that, unfortunately, people call them like meta weapons, but like the plasma gun, the bolt guns, the dueling sword, things like that. You know, it's just, it is what it is. Those are the most efficient damage dealing weapons that are available. Now there are different ones for each class. I'm not going to go over each one, um, but you gotta find the weapons that allow you to quickly kill, you know, those enemies I listed off a moment ago. Bulwarks, crushers, ragers. Those things are pretty deadly. Yeah, I think I even made a separate video for like the best weapons for each class. I'll flash that on the screen if I remember. I'll link it in the video's description, so definitely check that out as well. So yeah, that is gameplay tip 3. Gameplay tip number 4. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Gameplay tip number 4. If you're low on crafting resources like Ordo Dockets, Damnation, Plasteel, but you have a lot of like the actual money in the game, or not the money, but what's the other one? Sire Milk's currency. I forget what it's called. If you have those, you get those from like completing the weekly contracts. Well, then you can then go to Sire Milk and buy a fully kitted out weapon. He sells melee ranged weapons, and he also sells some curios as well. So try to find something that has all the stats maxed out. You might be able to find a perfect roll, meaning that a weapon has 80% into everything except one attribute, which is going to be at 60%. Most times that's going to be on mobility, because you want to maximize the amount of damage you can do with the weapon. But for the most part, Sire Milk gives you everything at like 70 to 77%, which is like a middle ground. And that would be a great way to take something into a higher difficulty level and let you experience these without going in like a crappy weapon, right? So yeah, I think that's it for that one. And oh yeah, before I forget, if you are trying to complete weekly contracts for Sire Milk, some stuff that you can re-roll for the contracts are like collecting grimoires, scriptures, anything that says play X amount of games without people going down, completing 8 missions, because that's a lot, right? You want to bypass those and hopefully you roll something better. So yeah, extra gameplay tip there. Alright, gameplay tip number 5. You gotta test it out in the Sicanium, and you gotta work on your attack patterns. Okay, so when you're ready to finally test on the Sicanium, try it out in the difficulty level that you want to go up to. So for example, if you're in Heresy, you've been playing there for a while, and you want to go into Damnation, see if you get the option to try it out in Damnation. Okay, that way it lets you get used to the damage that you'll need to do to the enemies in order to defeat them, and that'll let you kind of like experiment a little bit to see what's working or not, to see if something's dealing a lot of damage or a little bit of damage. Okay. But what do I mean by like attack patterns? It's like, you know, your light attacks, heavy attacks, you gotta mix them in together. So, for example, if you're facing off a, what's the big ogre called with the armor? The Crusher, and you're just spamming light attacks on it, guess what? Most likely, the Crusher's gonna kill you. Okay, so you're probably not gonna be dealing a whole ton of damage. What you need to do instead is mix in heavy attacks and dodging. Dodging is very important. It's going to allow you to not take any damage at all if you time it properly. And if you've been watching like my videos on my channel so far, or even the one you're watching right now, you'll be seeing that I'm doing a lot of dodging. That's a pretty important skill that you need to develop. There are like people that say like, well, if you're not dodging, then you're gonna have to at least block, which is, you know, a good alternative. It's still not the best because you'll still be taking some damage, but if you can't dodge, then at least learn to block. And what you can do is dodge while blocking. That'll be like the ultimate form of defense, okay? So if something does go through your dodge and you didn't time it properly, if you have your block up, well, you're gonna mitigate some of the damage. Alright, so you can, you know, dodge left, attack, dodge right, attack, can dodge backwards and then run back in to do an attack, and then you do more dodging. But just keep in mind, like, the more you dodge consecutively in a row, the less effective it becomes over time. And you'll need to kind of like pause on dodging for like a second, and then the dodge counters will come back. So I really recommend trying to improve your dodging skills before you start to go into the higher difficulty levels like Damnation, Auric, and then Havok. Because there's going to be some times where if you don't dodge and you get hit by something, it'll almost take you down to full, like, it'll almost take you down from full health to 0 health, depending on the attack, right? Alright, so that is testing out in the Psychanium and attack patterns. Okay, so moving into the last gameplay tip here. This one's the most important one, and you're gonna really need to pay attention and listen intently for this one. Pacing. Alright, so some people complain that people are moving too fast. That might not necessarily be the case all the time. In the higher difficulty levels of this game, you're going to find that the pacing is just going to be naturally, organically, very, very fast. It's designed to be that way. Well, maybe you can't call it organically because it's by design, but what I'm trying to say is the higher you go in difficulty, the faster you're going to have to move around. Right? It's going to throw a larger number of enemies at you, and it's not just going to be the normal poxwalkers, right? The normal horde. It's going to be more mixed units, so all the elites and specialists are going to be thrown at you in higher numbers. And they're going to be dealing a lot more damage, and they have more health, right? And depending on how high in difficulty you go, it might even throw multiple monstrosities and bosses for you to fight at one time. But really, you'll only start to see that in Auric and Havok. Havok being the highest difficulty that you can go to in this game. And because there's going to be higher intensity waves enemies, you're going to need to be really efficient on how you defeat these enemies. You can't just like sit in one area and just keep attacking enemies. You actually have to move up and fight and move at the same time. Because the longer you camp in one area trying to defeat everything, most times you can't. They'll just continue to spawn stuff to attack you. But the longer you take in one area, the more enemies that the game will actually send your way. That's just how it's designed. Also, the higher you go in difficulty, there's some things you need to not do. Exploration and taking your time. This is not the time or the place to go out of your way to collect resources. Like if you see something that's like far away, like Damnation that you want to pick up, but the team's already moving to, move up the map to the next zone, don't go get that resource. You need to stick with the team and move as one cohesive unit. Stay in coherency. Okay, that's going to be pretty important, because if you lag behind too much, you're going to trigger the game master to send out disablers. So disablers are elites and specialists that will pin you down. Examples are the trapper with a net, the dog with a pounce, and the charger, the mutant. There's a lot of names for that guy. Someone that runs at you, then like Hulk smashes you, like how Hulk does to Loki in the first Avengers movie. So the same can be applied if someone's moving too far ahead, which can happen as well. It's going to trigger boss fights, it's going to trigger hordes, it's going to trigger disablers on them as well. So you'll need to work with a team to move at a pace that everyone can keep up with, and hopefully everyone watches out for each other's backs. Okay. The other thing that you'll need to do once you get to these higher difficulty levels are looking for mission modifiers that don't really increase the difficulty all too much, because there's going to be some mission modifiers. For example, high intensity shock troop gauntlet and high intensity engagement zone. Those modifiers are going to increase the elites and specialists even more than normal for these game modes. Alright, so try to avoid those if you can. Those are just going to make it way more difficult for you to kind of like get your feet wet in the higher difficulty levels. So I can guarantee that if you go try those mission modifiers out, you're probably going to be defeated. You're probably going to feel a little frustrated. So stay away from those modifiers if you can, and hopefully you can find something that doesn't have those things and kind of like build up your experience over time. This is something that you're going to need to kind of be a little bit patient with. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some, but eventually you're going to succeed, and then you're eventually going to start improving and moving up the difficulties. Right, so I started off on just only playing Heresy. I couldn't play on Damnation, but over time I looked at YouTube videos to see how to improve. I asked questions on videos like how I can improve, and I really took the time to understand how to make a good build, and then understanding how the class plays, their strengths, their weaknesses. Some classes, for example, like the Psyker, they're a glass cannon class. They're great at dealing significant amounts of damage, either overtime or burst damage. but they can't take too many hits. Alright, it only takes a little bit for them to get knocked down. Whereas something like the veteran or the arbitrator, they're pretty tanky. They can survive quite a few hits before they go down. They have a lot of different talents and abilities that's going to allow them to survive, right? So just understand how your class works and all that, and I think you'll do well. Alright, well, I gotta go. Hopefully you got some good information out of this video, and enjoy watching the rest of the gameplay that's recording, or not recording, that's being played in the background. Before you head out, I appreciate it if you can hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and then change the notification to all. That'll let you know I have more videos like these go up on the channel, and that'll help support me and help the channel grow, because right now the channel is like microscopic. It's amazing that anybody can find any of these videos. Right, appreciate it if you do. I gotta go. Thanks for your time. Bye bye, rejects.